I'm not going to joke. Today was a frustrating day. My name is Werner Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. I try and be positive. I mean, this whole project is about finding the frequency of the great things that happen in my life. And they do. I'll talk about them in a moment, but now I first want to complain a little bit. And maybe the complaining is also kind of things that are going on in my head that kind of keep on tuning over and over. Maybe it's also things that I need to deal with. Maybe it's something that you share and we can talk about it together. But the last couple of days, I've been relatively frustrated in a few things that I've been busy with. A lot of it is kind of external influence on this, but I feel like, and maybe it's also because I've been exposed to or been thinking a lot about design, or I am being overly sensitive. And I know I have a lot of friends out there that say, Werner, you're not. But I also have a very select set of friends who are also very critical and sometimes always very right and would say that, Werner, maybe you are the problem. But like the last couple of days, I've found that some of the work that I've been doing has been going back and forth. In one way, it feels like it's like I'm in the start of my career sending things back and forth to someone. And a lot of the back and forth is to correct things, but it's correcting things that is not necessarily wrong. On one side, based on opinion, but for the largest part, based on bad briefing, not explaining to someone properly what it is you want. And I found that happening quite a lot the last couple of weeks, where you get this kind of high level thing and everybody thinks that they're on the same page, and then you do the stuff and then they come back and they change it. And it's like, it really reminds me of when I was back at the ad agency where there was this joke, like, can you move something just 3 pixels to the left? And I feel like I'm really moving things 3 pixels to the left. But then also on the one side, I feel like I'm a consultant, and that, unfortunately for the person who's making me do this, is costing them money. But it's frustrating from a kind of someone who's been in the industry for a couple of years to see this happening. And then sometimes I just let it go. Like there's no reason to dwell on it, but sometimes it just sticks in the back of the mind. And that is frustrating. And I think because I feel like we can do things so much more, so easy and so clear by just explaining to people exactly what it is you want them to do, and then being clear about how that's going to be measured. And I hate the word measured because it's like you want to test someone, but what is it that you want, and what does success look like? And I think you have to be clear on how you articulate that to everybody in any work that you do. If you don't do that, don't be surprised if the person who works with you or does something for you doesn't do exactly what you need, because we need people to help us with things. But on the extraordinary side, I've been very lucky today to speak to someone who's in the same industry as me and kind of similar experience as me, and kind of a mutual friend, a mutual introduction. And I got to spend an hour speaking to this person today. And it made me think about how I really miss some of the work I've done in the past in the larger companies. And, how this pandemic has actually made us all, the world bigger, but still it feels like things are much smaller. And it amplifies some of the struggles that I'm facing this week. But then again, the extraordinary is to have the ability to connect with amazing people. I'm also working on a new video, planning that, a new live stream coming on Friday with a guy from Belarus/Russia. He's in Russia at the moment. And when I start thinking about these things, I get excited and I get inspired, and I wish I could find some way to turn this into what I do every day. Because unfortunately at the moment, that still is not paying the rent. I think all of us and a lot of my friends are on the same boat, where we get to a certain age, we just want to disconnect and be our own boss, and look after ourselves. and not kind of answer to some of the nonsense we have to deal with. But I think life is about learning how to deal with the nonsense, and sometimes you are the cause of the nonsense. But yeah, lots to think about, but positive things. Great conversation. Still feel riled up. Got some excellent things on the go, things that I'm looking forward to doing. And then also, I can hear the door opening because the little man is on his way in. So that makes the day even more worthwhile. Thanks for listening.